What's the best kind of wood to burn for heat in the winter? Well, that's kind of a catch-22. It's kind of almost entrapment to answer that question, but I'm going to go ahead and answer it with a few different answers. If you ask any professional woodcutter what the best wood is, they're going to tell you oak, straight up. Now that may or may not be, and there's a lot of variation between different types of oak, between northern oaks and southern oaks, red oaks, black oaks, white oaks. There's a ton of variation between all the oaks, but more or less, oak is one of your top BTU rating woods. I'm going to give you a really basic scale starting with 10. 10, that's your oaks. Oaks, hickory, ash, and your elm, your really good burning woods. I'm going to call those a 10. Those are all fairly equal, more or less, in their heat value, BTUs per pound and BTUs per square foot. But now let's go down to other types of woods that are pretty common too, like your cherry wood. I've got a lot of cherry here. Not that one. That one's cherry. I got a lot of cherry wood. Cherry, wild black cherry. It's also almost identical to choke cherry. There's a small botanical difference, but they're basically the same functionally. And these are one step down from the oaks. I would call these a 9. If oaks are 10, the cherry would be a 9. Cherry is a great wood. It's softer, so you're going to need an extra cord or two if you're going to be burning cherry wood alone versus just oaks and ash, hickory, elm, that sort of thing. We can go just a little bit softer yet, and we go down to the maples. Maples are more like an 8 on the scale of hardness, scale of ultimate heat value packed into one package. If you're going to burn maple, you're going to want to have a little bit extra because it's a lighter, kind of medium weight wood. Still good for burning, a very clean, very solid burning wood. We can go down further. I'm going to take a big leap now and go down to poplar. Poplar, also known as aspen, yellow poplar. This stuff is a really lightweight wood. It splits like a dream, but it's really lightweight. It's a fairly low heat value. This stuff is more like a 7, maybe even closer to a 6. I'd say maybe a 6.5 on my scale here. So you're going to need probably twice the amount of wood if you're going to be burning this aspen, this poplar versus the oak. But in a lot of areas, this is all you have. It's basically just your pines and your poplars, your aspens. In the northern areas, you get further north and around Michigan, you go up to the north sides of Michigan, New York, Maine, you don't have much else other than your softer woods, your aspens, your pines, cedars. And those do burn great, you just need more wood. By the way, pine wood will not hurt your chimney. It's not going to cause a chimney fire or burn down your house or wreck your stove. Go watch my video on is pine wood safe to burn in a wood stove. I laid it all out there fairly scientifically, but simple to understand. The next one I'm talking about is pine. All your pines, all your firs, all those sticky sap resin filled woods, they're fine. They're generally pretty soft. Some of them are super soft, like your balsams. Those are super soft, but even your spruces and your firs, they're about equal in heat value to the poplar, about equal. They put out a little bit more heat. They burn a little bit quicker, usually, but they have a slightly higher heat value than a lot of your poplar do because of the resins in it, which once it's cured is all solidified, and as long as the wood is dry, it does not hurt your chimney or coat it full of creosote as long as it's dry. Any wet wood, regardless of what kind of wood it is, if it's wet, it's very dangerous. It will cause massive creosote builds up in your chimney, which will ultimately cause a chimney fire that can burn your house down. So only burn dry wood. Basically, any wood is fine. One wood isn't necessarily better than the other. It depends on what you have available. I mean, if the whole point is being sustainable, self-sufficient, self-reliant, use what you have. Make it work for you. Make sure it's dry. But use the wood you have, and it will work. A large portion of the world only burns wood that most people consider to be inferior or low quality or poor grade heat woods, mainly because that's all they have. You get much further north than where I am, the oak trees, really start thinning down just an hour north of where I live, and we get a lot more poplars. I mean, out here, it's already, the woods are over half poplar. I go further north, it's mainly just poplar and pines. Then we get further north and we get more just poplars and cedars. So that's okay. You know, use what you have. Just realize that softer woods require more wood, and it's always good to have extra wood, more than you think you're ever going to use, in case you end up going through a lot more than you planned. Now, everybody knows oak. Oak is a great fuel wood. It's a high BTU rating. It's a slower burning wood, so it's really great for an all-night fire because it doesn't burn quickly. It's really good for smoldering and burning good all night. It doesn't get quite as hot as the faster burning woods, but it lasts a lot longer and ultimately puts out more heat. But there's a lot more than just oaks that are still great burning woods. The main issue is they're just not quite so common. Your ash is a great burning wood. Elm is another great burning wood. Hickories, all of your hickories are pretty stout burning woods, and they're hard to beat any of those. They're all sitting on the top category, on the top rung of the ladder for the highest heat value per pound you can get out of wood in the US. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best. You can get lower BTU rating woods that aren't really inferior per se. They still burn great. Really, the key is, what do you have available? What's in your area? More than likely, you're trying to avoid going and spending a lot of money on fuel. That's probably why you're burning wood. So you probably don't want to get a ton of wood delivered, go get 4, 5, 6 cords of wood delivered from somewhere else. You're probably going to go and cut it yourself. In that case, it more depends on what's growing around. Well, basically any wood is perfectly fine and safe to burn in your wood stove for heat. You're not going to cause a chimney fire by burning a softer wood, a pulpwood as some people call it. Your firs, your pines, poplars, aspens, the softer stuff. It's not going to hurt anything at all in your chimney. As long as all your wood is dry, everything burns great. The softer woods burn quicker, which means you have to go and get more wood quicker, which is why it's often known as gopher wood, because time you stoke it up, you got to send your kids out to go for more wood. Well, I also burn a lot of the softer woods because that's what I have here. I mean, I've got a lot of my oak in here, but I've also got a lot of poplar, also known as aspen. This is yellow poplar or yellow aspen. Really lightweight wood, but it seasons very, very quickly. It dries very quickly once split, and it burns okay. Well, thanks for watching Northern Homesteading. I hope you guys enjoyed this, got something useful out of it. Look around for more good information here. I do my best to make good videos for you. Don't forget to click the like button if you actually liked the video, and I will catch you guys later. Bye now.